Hi, yesterday I posted to Reddit some pictures of the internals of my new Nintendo Switch Online Gamecube controller. I thought I'd make a video and tear this thing down today. Now, please know that I'm not a content creator, so this is going to be bumpy, but I just thought this would be a fun thing for me to learn how to do videos like this. As you can see, it's really nice and sharp. We've got these lovely little new buttons. I would have loved a minus button over a capture button, but this is what we have. If we hold it next to the GameCube controller, original GameCube controller, we can see a lot of similarities. Please mind the 25 odd years of grot that have accumulated on mine, and it's a little more yellow because these controllers are known to turn yellow over time. I think it's something that makes them fireproof. We've got a pretty good comparison here. Whoop. Sorry, I'm acting to the camera. This is something new to me. Up here, behind, and below. So I thought we could open this guy up. I've already removed the screws for simplicity, and the first thing I noticed when I was opening this guy up is that it does not want to give up the ghost. And eventually, after pulling it apart, I realized there are two clips on the inside of where the D-pad and the C-stick are. If you wedge your thumb right in there at the right point, they should release. Now watch as this becomes significantly more difficult now that I'm trying to act to a camera. That's one, that's the other. Hopefully I haven't broken anything yet. So, here's the internals. Now, the big discovery I made, I did hit that with my nails a little bit. The big discovery I made was that the D-pad has an entirely new setup. Here's a loose Nintendo GameCube circuit board, and we can see that the back of the D-pad is at the same level as all the other buttons and where everything else is mounted. Something else I was curious about is these analog sticks. Now, the original analog sticks have this little piece of wire, not analog sticks, shoulder buttons, have this little piece of wire. And this wire will stop the shoulder from rocking and moving and everything like that. If we look inside here, then we can already see that there's no wire, and there's in fact no little hook like up here to even accept that. So maybe if I really wanted to, I could put some original shoulder buttons into this controller and have that wire to keep everything straight and sharp and have it scrapeless. But I'm not gonna do that today. That's not the goal of today's video. So I'm gonna move that to the side. We can see that the internals are very similar as well. Before the Nintendo Switch Online controller was announced, I was actually working on a little mod of my own to move the rumble pack to the handles so that I could put a larger battery into a wireless controller I was trying to build. So I'm very curious if these that are very form-fitting 3D printed parts, sorry, that's not focusing. 3D printed parts will actually fit in the original. And that fits in absolutely perfect. So I'm willing to bet they referenced the original molds to create this. Next, let's have a look at the actual interior of the controller. We've got our battery here. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like a Joy-Con battery or the same battery that's in the Pro Controller. We've got some ribbon wires, whereas before we did not have ribbon cables. Let me just find one of my... We did not have flat flex cables, sorry. We had full-on ribbon cables, and these would hold in the analog stick and the shoulders. But everything is now flat flex cables, which means that things are a lot more likely to break when you muck with them. So that's gonna be fun for me. The easy job is really quickly just pulling up the FFC connector and just pulling out very lightly. And we could do that again for the C-stick. And we'll pull it again really lightly. I can tell this is going to be an absolute pain to remove when I get to putting this back together. So let's start on the C-stick. And my screwdriver is a little bit too big. Let me grab a small one. Let's start on the C-stick. And I'm going to remove just that part. And we'll see if it's any different. Sorry if I'm covering things up with my hand. I probably should have moved a monitor closer to my vision line so I can avoid it, but I'll do my best. All right, so let's take this part out. And here we've got the C-stick. Looks very similar to the original GameCube one. This looks very much like the Wii style analog stick. I have over here a GameCube analog stick, and it looks about the same size. Now, something I will say I noticed as I was using this is that this C-stick is a little bit harder to move, but I don't think it's by that much. I think it'll drop off. Let me see if I can find in my parts drawer. Here we go. Here we've got a Wii analog stick. And if we hold it right next to it, this is practically identical. So at the moment, we're getting Wii style analog sticks in our in our analog sticks. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I'd like to try this part. I'm not sure if it'll come out without the mainboard coming out, but I think I might just have a go at it. Let me just move my screws where I can remember where they went. Alrighty. So that's one, and that's two, and then I've already unplugged this. So hopefully that will just come out really tenderly for me. Where'd that go? Okay. And I think that's gonna be a little bit of an issue until I get the main board out. Let me just try with the tweezers. And yeah, I think that this board is going to cover it up. I might be able to wiggle it out just barely, but probably, oh, no, nearly there. Probably the main board will have to come out to get that out like cleanly without damaging anything. Like I'm very close, but I don't think I'm gonna, oh, maybe I will push it. So very close. I think I've wedged that up, but I'm going to just keep on going and pull it apart for the sake of safety. I don't want my new toy to break so quickly. We've got these shoulder buttons, which are attached to the main GameCube, the main wireless PCB. I don't think I'm going to remove these two flex cables just yet. I'm kind of curious if I can remove the PCB as one big piece, like the original GameCube controller can be moved. So let's have a go there. And at the moment, I'm counting at least four different sizes of screws. So this could end up being quite difficult to pull apart and put back together. This video will hopefully save me from forgetting where everything goes. And this one goes in the top right. So let's see if the PCB moves. Nope, it doesn't wiggle. I might have to remove parts of this frame. Let me just peek underneath here. So one screw here that was hiding in the middle Whoop, I don't want to strip it. That feels a different shape than what I'm using. Let's see. No luck so far. Might just need to use a little more pressure. There we go. Don't want to strip this. I want everything to go together perfect and neat when I'm done. I might, for safety, remove these, because if this black plastic piece here detaches, and I bend those flex cables the wrong way, then that's it. No more shoulder buttons. I'm sure I could repair it if I wanted to, but I'm currently doing my masters and my final assessment of my masters, so I haven't even turned on my Switch yet. This is... Mario Kart will be my reward when I'm done. So I'm focusing on just having this as a fun little break. Just want to get in there. All right, that's detached. And we have these two last ones here. I think they might not be so definitively attached, so I'll just have to experiment. We also have 2 screws hiding under this. So I think so far we're gonna have to remove this plastic piece, which holds the shoulder buttons and the rumble motor and the battery. Okay, these 2 can go on the edge there. Just trying to remember where everything is. And it's already getting quite wobbly, which is quite beneficial. Right, so this part can tear away. I'll unplug the battery. Hopefully. No, doesn't like my tweezers. That's slowly coming out, and there we go. All right, so we've got that piece, and we've got another plug here. Oh, that wasn't the battery. This is the battery I'm unplugging now. Before that was the rumble motor. There we go. All right, so this part is now free. I am just gonna check. Okay, so this part is connected to here. I'm not sure I want to... Actually, I will remove it just for the sake of my sanity. Because this part is going to so easily break if I do not take care of this. And I hope no one wants a reassembly, because that would take a very long time, and I would swear a lot. So, here we go. And is this glued down? Oh, no, it's loose. All right, so now I should be able to remove this piece. So the original GameCube has a similar piece like this that holds the shoulder buttons. This isn't particularly different. The main change is I reckon that rumble motor is a little smaller, and obviously the original didn't have a battery. So I think this is the original rumble motor I had in storage. So the main change seems to be is this pole of the rumble motor is taller on the original, but that's pretty decent. All right, so I count 3 more screws. I think I can return this screw because I didn't realize it, and I should have put this together on my own, and I should have put it together on this one as well. But the Wii actually has its analog stick screwed in. So here are 4 screws, 2 on the back of the main analog stick and 2 on the back of the C stick that do not need to be removed at all. So this does not seem to be coming out. I think I got 2 more screws and I'll be all the way in. One and 2. All right, now I'm gonna very gently pull this up. Oh, this one went here. It was tucked in the front, but I didn't see that. And now we get to see the front of the PCB. And that is compared to the original. So let's have a look at those before we have a look at the parts. So, and I'm going to be very careful with you. So we've got a very similar footprint. We've got a little bit of different shaping, but the shoulder is the same. I did notice that we have a bigger shoulder button for the Z button on the original than the old one. And a lot of the circuitry seems to actually be on the back side of this time instead of the front. Now, let's have a look at our new D-pad, I think will be a great idea. So if I push that through, now that's come out. And oh, that's already very different. So here's our D-pad circuit, and there's a long hair. I'm sure you saw me before. I'm very bald, so I don't know where that came from. So here we've got the entire assembly for the new analog stick, and we've got a very different shaped analog stick. So here's how, sorry, not analog stick, D-pad. So here's how the D-pad looks on the original. And the original has a really long shaft. So here's the original D-pad, and it's actually quite tall. And this makes a lot of accuracy issues come up when you're, hopefully that's working. Yep, this makes a lot of accuracy issues and makes it feel really inaccurate. If we hold this one up to it, we can already see a big difference between the original and the new D-pad. So we can see that this is much, much thinner, and we can see that this one is thicker. And this does exactly what I think it does, and this actually pushes everything up just that little bit further. Something I also noticed, and we can see it here, is this little backing bit to the D-pad is significantly higher than the original. So here's the original D-pad, and that is significantly shorter. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this with one of them being black, but if we tilt that towards the camera, we can see that this one is basically level with the edge and the lip of the case, and we can see that this one is a little bit more indented. So that's probably like, looking at it, I think that's a couple of millimeters, probably like 4 millimeters difference minimum. So that's the big difference there. I wonder if any of the other buttons are different. So we've got all of these other buttons here. We've got the C buttons and stuff like that. I don't really want to take these out. In fact, I think I've already lost a screw that went here. So that is going to be a really fun job for me to find it later. Hopefully it hasn't sprung off somewhere, but I probably have a spare if that's the case. So now we've got the D-pad done. Let's have a look at the analog sticks. So these look, so not the analog sticks, the face buttons. These look exactly like the original face buttons to me. I wonder if they're the same height. Ooh, they're pretty bang on. I wonder if I could just put the original analog stick back in, and yep, that will fit in perfectly. So they're an identical part on the face buttons from the look of it. I think that's a lot of the new features. Let's have one final look at the main PCB. And we've got another Wii style analog stick sitting underneath here. We don't have a lot of extra stuff going on. I would imagine here is where the gyroscope that everyone was surprised for is kept, but I could very well be wrong on that. And I'm only guessing it because of its location off to the side. We've got, I don't even think I see it particularly. Oh, the Wi-Fi antenna is built into this, I think. I could be wrong. But I don't even see like a really big Bluetooth antenna here for us to connect to. So I think that's more or less all of the parts of the new Nintendo Switch Online GameCube controller. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to go find a tiny spring. Bye.